Hi everybody, Laura here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun project to share with you using the Mushroom Meadow stencil and hot foil plate by the Greetery. Just came out in their August release and I was very excited to try this layering stencil set. I believe there are 6 stencils in the layering stencil set, and then there's a coordinating hot foil plate that you can use with it. And that kind of replaces one of the stencils. So I'm going to start by hot foiling this. And I haven't foiled in a very long time. So I was excited to pull this out. And I pulled out some gold foil and I used Hammermill white cardstock. And I let that heat up nice and good. And then I took it off camera and I ran it through my Spellbinders die cutting machine. And I got excited because I've been a hit and a miss with foil. Foil can make you crazy. But this one, I was pleasantly surprised, foiled beautifully. In fact, I had a little overfoiling there in the corner, but I trimmed all that off. And then I got to layering with the layering stencil set. So I'm going to adhere this down to my grid mat with some Post-it tape, and I'm going to start layering. So they're numbered 1 to 6. And what makes it really easy, I would say, if you foil first, then you know exactly where to line up those, what are they called, cattails? And you just line those up. And so here's the back of the packaging for the Mushroom Meadow. And it gives you also some color inspiration. I didn't go exactly by it, but I did use it for kind of a little mojo because I love a red mushroom. Okay, so that's what I started with. I'm using Poppy ink by Concord. And I'll have all the colors and supplies listed in my description box if you're watching on YouTube. So I started with Poppy. And I am going a little bit heavier handed on one side, fading it lighter on the other. And that's called the good old gradient love. Or if you want to put it to a melody, the good old gradient love. Have you ever heard the song, The Good Old Hockey Game? It's the good old hockey game. It's the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. That's a popular one in our house. Anyway, so after Poppy, I add a little smidge of Cranberry just to give it a little punch on that dark red over on the corner. Okay, so that's stencil 1. And then now stencil 2 also makes it easy to line up with the gold foiling because you can see the veining on those leaves. This time I pulled out Eucalyptus. Again, going a little heavier on one side, lighter on the other. And so I think I'm doing one color per stencil, which makes it very user-friendly. But certainly you could use more than one color if you want to have a ton of different colors. Go all out, you know. And this is a beautiful kind of pattern when you're finished. It's very fall, very, what do you call it, woodland. It's giving woodland vibes. So last little cluster of leaves here with Eucalyptus. I believe I'm using the Concord blender brushes too. They're small, which is good because all the areas in the stencil are kind of smaller. So you don't need a big, huge brush. Here we are with stencil 3. More foliage. This time I use Stardust. So these are kind of like my go-to fall colors right now. I feel like a lot of the cards I did with the Greetery release are using this kind of colors. Stardust, Eucalyptus, Poppy. I just love them together. I always feel very blessed and fortunate to get asked to help out with the Greetery releases. I think that Betsy is one of the most talented designers out there, and I think her products are so innovative, refreshing. She has a style of her own. It's not like anybody else's, and I just love it. I've loved Betsy since the day I've been working with Betsy since way back when we both were with Paper Tray Ink years ago in the days when Nicole Heddy was the head designer there. And oh gosh, was I ever a fangirl over all those Paper Tray Ink designers, Betsy Veldman, Nicole Heddy. Well, back in the day, my all-time, if you know, Christina Kowalczyk, she was my idol. Anywho, I'm getting off topic. Ballet slipper for these little tiny blooms. Guess what I'm trying to say is, I think the Greetery comes out with great designs. And this is a spectacular fall release. Which I love. I love fall. I love fall designs. I like the woodland. So a little splash of ballet slippers was a nice insert into this fall color scheme. So here we have avocado, the last one, a little bit of greenery here, so that the final stencil you don't really need if you foil, because all that is all the little dots and doodads that would be where the foiling is. So it does give you the option, if you don't want to foil, you could get this same look just with the stencil set. Just throwing that out there. But if you do want to foil, then you probably won't need to use stencil number 6. Okay, so last bit of avocado, and then I'll show you that it just looks so pretty, doesn't it? It's such tastefully done. Okay, so here's the stencil 6. You can see all the little spots on the mushrooms, the dots and the flowers. Those have all been foiled, so I'm not even going to bother blending that. But you could if you wanted to. But I love the gold shimmer mixed in with all these fall colors. So I'm going to die cut right into it. I know it's painful, but I had to do something. So I used one of the scalloped oval dies from the Capsule Basics die set, and I die cut that blended panel. I'm going to put that scalloped blended panel on a rustic cream card base for a sentiment. Pulling out one of my favorite sentiment sets. It's not from this release. It's older, scripted sentiments. I'm doing just a note with Parsley ink onto Parsley cardstock. I love the scripted sentiments stamp set. Has the most beautiful scripty swoop-de-doo you've ever seen. I use the coordinating die to cut it out. I'm also going to cut out a few more out of white and stack those up behind the Parsley die cut to give it a little bit of dimension. It's kind of an intricate die cut if you want to pop it up at all. Trying to put foam tape behind those swoop-de-doos is not for me. Okay, so I'm using a little bit of glue to glue 2 white ones together, top it off with the Parsley. I have an A2 rustic cream card base ready to go, and I'm going to glue that scalloped blended panel down onto it after I get this all put together. Okay, so just a smidge of glue down the center. I wanted the panel to kind of lift on the sides. Maybe I should have used foam tape. But here's a little hack. If you don't want to use foam tape, but you still want to get a little lift, don't glue the whole thing down. Just put a little bit of glue. It'll lift up on the edges. It'll give you that bit of shadow without the bulk. And then for a little embellishment, I pulled out a sheet of, these are Concord 9th enamel dots, and I just kind of used colors that went with the color scheme, just making it work. Some yellows, some pinks, a little bit of aqua there, and this card's finished. I love how this turned out. In fact, it might be my favorite one of the release. I just love a mushroom, love the scallop die cut. Check out the Greetery to see what the rest of the design team created. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.